Hello, I'm Luke O'Neill and here I am in my lab in the Trinity Biomedical Sciences Institute. So this week on my COVID-19 update, one dose or two, a lot of discussions going on. Should we use up as much vaccine as possible on as many people as possible with a single dose and then later bring in the second dose? And it's a very important question. Now the reason for this is we've got to stop these variants. That's one reason. And if we can vaccinate as many people as possible with a single dose, it'll stop the likelihood of variants coming up. And of course in the developing world, that's very important. The evidence suggests as follows, by the way: a single dose of Moderna or Pfizer gives 92% protection. That's a really high level. Anyway, AstraZeneca gives 76% protection after one dose. What we don't know though is how long that protection lasts, and the second dose might be needed to give durable protection. That's a bit of an unknown. But as we're still in the middle of this pandemic, it's making more and more sense to do what's called dose sparing. Use as much vaccine as possible when you have it. The UK and Canada are both doing this anyway, and the UK is getting great data. Maybe Ireland and the developing world certainly should consider one dose. And a fascinating study's just come out on, of all things, pollen. Now, pollen in the air, especially in the spring and summer, lots of pollen is around. There was evidence in the past that high pollen levels increase the risk of infection from respiratory viruses. The flu, for instance, pollen seems to correlate. And now COVID-19, a big study, 31 countries, measuring pollen in the air. High levels of pollen are correlating with increased risk of infection. Now, why is this? It's a correlation, so you'd wonder, what's going on there. It's been known that pollen irritates the airways in your nose, and that may well make them more susceptible then to the virus. What does this mean? Wear a mask. Masks will stop you inhaling pollen. It's a very simple thing. If anything, this is more evidence that mask wearing should protect us. So again, an unusual link between pollen and SARS-CoV-2 and COVID-19. And an update on India. Now, as you may remember, about a month ago, it was looking great there. Less transmission, less cases. It's all gone the other direction. Case numbers are rising massively. They're having thousands of cases every day. The big question is, why is this? The first reason they thought it might be going well was herd immunity, a lot of immunity. Only 20% they reckon now have antibodies. So lots of people weren't infected in the first phase of this. A second reason that's very interesting is, in the warmer weather, people move back indoors where there's air conditioning. That may spread the virus. And as we know, indoors is a really important risk factor for COVID-19. The third reason is the B.1.1.7 variant. That's now in India as well. It's more transmissible. Now, what does this mean? Indians are being told, please wear your masks, keep social distancing, get the vaccine out. Only 5% of people in India have been vaccinated. Massive effort with the government now to vaccinate as many people as possible, because they've got to turn this around again and decrease the spread of this virus. And you can hear about these stories and more on my weekly COVID-19 update with Pat Kenny on Newstar.